Hey guys, so I asked a little while back if you guys wanted me to share my experience in Rome and how you wanted me to share it, and you said to do, and most people said to do an IGTV. So I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna upload some pictures and stuff to show like all our fun from our trip. And I'm excited to do this not only to document for us, but just to share with you guys because it was such an amazing opportunity. Okay, so the very first day I flew out. I flew out on a Thursday, and it was nerve-wracking because it was my very first time traveling, one, internationally, two, like all by myself. I don't know that I've ever really flown by myself. I've flown with friends or family before, but I don't think I've ever really flown by myself. So it was huge. It was huge for me. Plus traveling internationally by myself. My husband's a pro, but I'm not. Honestly, was not near as bad as I thought it was going to be. The thing that was like the worst was sitting for so long. My legs can't handle it because I'm very on the move. Even at home, I'm up, doing, moving, all these sorts of things because I can't sit. I've got to stay moving. So, but flew out Thursday. So flew Thursday night technically here, and then landed Friday super early in the morning, I think, back home. No, people were sleeping still. So I landed Friday there, met up with Ben, and it was so awesome. So he was working on the island Sicily, and then we met up together in Rome, which is kind of crazy. Like, most people can't say go meet your spouse in Rome. So he flew in a little bit after me, and then I flew in before him, and it's actually kind of perfect timing. I maybe waited like 10-15 minutes, but I was sitting there waiting for him, and I was so jet lagged, so tired. Thank goodness for the internet and Marco Polo, because I was talking to some friends. My dad kept tabs on me. It was just it was perfect. Anyway, so then he came up, like I was sitting on a bench just waiting for him, and still like, you know, just kind of looking at my phone to pass some time by. And then all of a sudden I feel somebody like grab me behind the shoulders, and it was him. I was so excited. Stood up, hugged him. He scared me half to death, but luckily, like, you know, anyway, it was perfect. It was good. Then we headed out the door after we got his luggage. We had a taxi take us to our hotel, and we got to go through the city a little bit, which was really, really cool. So when I got there, I was like, dang, this city's huge. Like, this is crazy, which it is huge, but also I can't believe how much walking you can do and how easy it is to do all the walking. So then we get to our hotel, and they're like, oh, we've got you in a bigger room for tonight, but it might change. And I kept my fingers crossed that it wouldn't change, but then it changed. So we were in a nice big room for one night, but then even our smaller room, it was super nice. It was a nice hotel. It was super convenient to everything. Like, we were in the heart, like right in the heart of everything, which was perfect. So we got there and we're like, hey, what do we need? You know, what should we do? Let's get out. Cause I'm like, I need to walk. First I worked out. Shocker, I know I worked out. But then we went to this church that was right down the street, and the churches there are beautiful. Like, because just the time that was spent on with like the stained glass and with all the murals and stuff they painted, absolutely beautiful. So we did that, and then I was hungry. So we went and we stopped and got some pizza, and the pizza was good. It was good, don't get me wrong, but oh my gosh, if you followed me on Instagram, you saw so much more pizza came after that, and so much better pizza after that. But it was good, and it was nice to like just sit down, eat some food. So then after that, we went down to the Trevi Fountain. Oh my goodness, you guys, I can't even describe in words how beautiful it is. And it's way cooler at night than it is in the day, because there's a couple times we walked past it, because like I said, it ended up being so close. Beautiful, just beautiful and magical. And just being there with my husband, it was amazing. And if I cry during any of this, you know it's me. Anyway, it was perfect. We took pictures. I was able to throw a coin in the fountain that my dad gave me that he got when he was in Italy when he was younger. And it was so much fun. And legend is like, if you take coins, they say to throw 3 coins in, and then they also say to like toss it over opposite shoulder. So then that way you're like guaranteed to come back to Rome. Anyway, so that was like our first night. We stopped, we got some gelato. It was perfect. We didn't do much because like I said, we kind of got there in like the middle of the day, but it was such a good first day. Okay, Saturday was like our first full day actually in Rome, and I really wanted to go to the Rome temple, like with my whole heart. And Ben's boss and his wife had just gone to Rome a couple days before, and she was giving me all the tips, tricks, and then I was asking her some questions about going to the temple. And she's like, we asked the front desk and they said it was going to be so much money to take a taxi up there. And I was so heartbroken because I'm like, ugh. And I had heard stories about like the metro or the subway, and I was just like, I don't want to go on there. We're going to get pickpocketed because there's horror stories there. But honestly, it wasn't bad. So Ben Googled some things. We also, my wonderful friend Renee from Australia, her in-laws went to Rome too. So we were kind of talking, and her in-laws said the same thing. Take the metro. That's what Ben discovered, take the metro. So we hopped on the metro, went up there for 14 euros for both of us, round trip. So we had to go on the metro, hop a bus, take a bus, and go up to the temple. And it was absolutely magical, wonderful, amazing. The temple was everything I could have imagined, like just beautiful. They had it up kind of on a hill, but not crazy. The funny thing is IKEA was right across the street. But like, it was just an amazing experience, and everything was in a different language because we did go through the temple, and it was just like, I'm getting chills even now, just feeling the spirit and feeling like, it was just amazing. It was so good. And then going and seeing the grounds after, they were beautiful, and how they have all the 12 disciples, apostles. I don't know, I'm horrible with my church stuff. Beautiful behind the big Christus, and people were so nice. We met some sister missionaries there, and they were from Utah. So that was such a magical experience. I've got some notes, sorry, so I'm looking. And then later that night, we went back, you know, got changed, everything. If you saw my picture, you saw that I had my dress on and then had sneakers on because I didn't want to go walking around. I didn't know how much walking around we could have done. I honestly could have packed nice shoes, but it's fine. And the Italians, they dress very nice. They choose cute and stylish over comfort, and I'm not that way. So I got some pretty cool looks with all of that. Okay, now I'll go into the night. Okay, so for nighttime, like, well, during nighttime, I should say, I really wanted to go over and see the Vatican. I didn't know what time it closed. We didn't even Google look or anything like that. And it closed at 6 because, we had no clue. Like, we walked in, walked up, because once we had our metro tickets, we're like, let's just go everywhere. I mean, you honestly can walk every single place there. Some places it takes longer, but we're like, let's just do it. So we went over and we were walking up the exit, but we didn't realize the exit, and Ben's like, that'd be so cool if we could just walk right in. So we walked up, but they were closed. They closed at 6, like the last entry is 4 o'clock. Anyway, we saw it at night. Beautiful, immaculate, amazing, wonderful. Just like, it's just so crazy to me, and I'll probably say this multiple times, the history there and how old everything is, and just that it's still standing. Like, that's what makes like Rome just so magical, is like, yeah, I'll continue on as I talk about the different buildings that we've been to. And then we also went and saw the Colosseum at night, and the Colosseum lit up at night was amazing, just breathtaking. And then I'll share going into the Colosseum, but like, just breathtaking, like just amazing. It's just crazy. If you can go, and I'll tell you this when you talk to me, or I'll tell you this multiple times through this video, you need to go. Like, save your money, make it a mission, go, because seriously, it's amazing. So that's what we did the rest of Saturday. Like I said, I'm looking at my notes that I have, but oh, that was a good day, a really good day, a good, really like spiritually fed day, and just an amazing day. And the time with my husband, I couldn't have asked for anything better. Okay, so Sunday, we kind of got up, not super early, but we got up a little bit earlier, and we decided to go to the Colosseum that day. So we went to the Colosseum. There are so many people by the tourist sites. That's probably like my one thing that I had a real frustration with. So many people trying to hand you crap. It reminded me a lot of like Las Vegas, where they were just like shoving crap in your face to have you take it, and you just have to learn to ignore them. There were some guys there that they would throw like bracelets at you and then catch them, and that's how they'd get you suckered in. We learned pretty fast, so to not talk to them. Just kind of annoying. Anyway, besides the fact. So we went there, and there were lots of people trying to sell tickets. There are like all the places that you need tickets, and So we didn't, and then we went in and this lady's like, I'm not selling tickets, I don't work here. Well, she was selling tickets, but still, we got a pretty cool tour. The guy took us in. The Coliseum was absolutely breathtaking, and it just boggles my mind to me. Like, yes, I've seen the movie Gladiator, I don't know if you guys have, but that people like actually fought there. They fought each other there, they fought animals there. Like, to me, it's just so incredibly crazy and just magical, and just how old everything is. And it's crazy because they were also talking about things that were done around the Colosseum that a lot of the leaders like had redone to kind of revamp it and remake it, because, you know, obviously it being so old, it's not gonna be perfect shape, but it still was crazy to walk on stairs and walk places where like people like with the history have walked before. So that was pretty cool. That was like, the Colosseum was probably one of the coolest things.
It was also a system very interesting to protect the people.
Okay, and then after the Coliseum, we kind of just walked down, and it was cool because they had the road shut down, where the night before they didn't, but the road was shut down, and they had people painting and all the, it just was pretty cool. People performing all these different things, people trying to sell you things again. But then we went to, so it's kind of like in Washington, D.C., where they have like, I think it's called the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, just kind of to honor all those veterans, or all those people that had passed away in World War I believe. World War I or World War II. I need Ben here to help me. Anyway, so that was pretty cool. That thing was huge, and the statues on top of it were amazing. Just like the buildings there, you guys, the buildings there are immaculate, and it's fun because we got to kind of go up and then see like over. It just, Rome is beautiful, and the architecture, like I could go on for hours about it. Just beautiful. Okay, and then we went and got some food. I don't remember all the food places. I'll have, when my pictures pop up, I'll show you. But of course, went and got more delicious food. Took a little bit of a break, and then we went to Piazza Navona. I'm horrible. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Like I told you, I am probably the whitest Hispanic that you will know. Anyway, and oh, and the Pantheon. We went there, and the Pantheon, like, just incredible. Just the churches there, you guys, they are incredible. Just like the time that they take with just putting them together, absolutely beautiful. And my favorite thing, which the guy at the Coliseum actually told us, our tour guide, like there's perfect round circles in all the churches, and they would take the columns and place them in the churches, and that's how they got the perfect circles, which I would have not known that. But like, it's just crazy to me, because I was just telling Ben, I'm like just how they built everything is insane. So in the Coliseum, I'll tell you this real quick that I forgot, there's holes everywhere, and they would use those holes to kind of make like their own scaffolding in order to build. So kind of crazy, just kind of crazy how they, I mean, they had to adapt with what they had. So kind of cool. And then the Piazza Navona, it's just like this big, open, beautiful square. Beautiful fountains. If you saw, it's the picture that I got of one of the fountains, and the guys, all the statues are naked there, so you can kind of guess what goes on there with the pictures. So, and that was good. And then my friend back home, she recommended going to a place called Bacco. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. She's like, go there, the food's delicious. Oh my gosh, okay, the food was so good. So Ben got pasta, I got pasta, I got a bolognese pasta. Ben got an Alfredo. His was really good. Mine was really good. And then as an appetizer, because I'm like, we have to try the mozzarella. You guys, the mozzarella balls, huge and so good. I forgot somebody was, somebody was asking me that, like, didn't it make you sick eating all that mozzarella? Oh no, oh no. And you would think with like how healthy I try to fuel my body, I'd be sick. I think after the first day I was kind of like, ugh, but then after that, give me all the delicious food. So that was kind of our Sunday. And then we went back earlier because we wanted to wake up early for Monday to go to the Vatican. And that probably was like one of my favorite days. So I'll go into that next. Okay, so we woke up super early on Monday to go to the Vatican because we wanted to make sure to get there so we didn't have to wait in a line. So we got up, went and bought another metro ticket, and then headed down. And we got there like just in time as they were like opening. So they have security, obviously. So we went through security, got through, walked right in, walked through the whole entire chapel. I don't know what that part is. I'm horrible. Walked through that whole chapel part, and then we kind of went walking around, and the chapel on the inside, you guys, it's just insane. Insane. Like gorgeous, beautiful, like all of Vatican City is just immaculate, and the history and just, oh, it's amazing. You're gonna hear me say that multiple times. So then we walked around because my friend Brooke, she's like, if you have a chance, go climb up all the way to the top and go look out, and it's like 100% worth it. So we went, and we didn't have any euros on us. So I'm like, dang it. Ben's like, well, we'll just come back a different day. So we went out, and because we had tickets to the museum, and it was for a couple hours later, so we're like, okay, we'll go get some breakfast. So we went and got some breakfast, and then we found a place to get some euros. So I'm like, let's do it now. So we went back, same thing, right in, right through security. It was perfect. It was wonderful. Went in, and we went right up to get our tickets to walk up there. We went right up there, and like seriously, it was just like wham, wham, wham. Walked up the stairs like crazy. And Ben, after we had done it, he said people wait like hours to go up a bit. So I was like, dang. So we got like perfect timing. Got in, went up the stairs, 551 stairs, I think is what Ben researched. And then so all the way up and all the way down. But it was so worth it. We were dead. Like later that night we were dead, but it was absolutely worth it. Breathtaking, beautiful, totally 100% worth it. So if you ever go, it's something I mentioned that you need to do, like totally. So then we came back down, and by the time we come back down, it'd been like a couple hours that we'd been in and out of like, you know, getting into it. The line was insane. By this time it was probably like 10:30. Holy cow. The line was just insane. It was like, it had to be a mile long to get in. And I'm just like, dang, we lucked out. We planned that good. So then we went and kind of just hung out for a little bit because we had some time to kill. Went and got some food, more food. And then waited to go in because our tickets weren't good until noon to go into the Vatican Museum. So I'll go into that next. The Vatican Museum, holy cow, like you could spend hours upon hours upon hours upon hours upon there. So you go and you go and you go and you go through all these different beautiful places where they have big, huge carpet tapestries where people have painted on. Just the paintings, they had paintings from, oh my gosh, Michelangelo, I want to say that. Like it was absolutely beautiful and just breathtaking. Like, and it still just boggles my mind that like the history and like just how old it is and like how, anyway, and all the statues and things that they recovered. And our taxi driver did tell us when he was taking us to our hotel that they like when they keep digging around, they keep finding things. And it's insane because you can see the things that have been out for years, and then things that they barely find, they're like perfectly white, and things that have been out for years are like, you know, gray and getting darker. But anyway, so many different crazy things in there, like so many pots. It reminded me of Hercules, the cartoon, the Disney movie Hercules, because they had put like pots back together that were totally like the pots on there, like the clay pots and stuff. So pretty cool that way. And then just different things, the statues and stuff. One of the statues, I would tell you this real quick. One of the statues that we walked past, it was like a younger boy and everything was gone off of him. Like there was just a big hole, and we were laughing, and Ben's like, you need to take a picture of that so we can show it to me as future boyfriends. And then I was like, our kids are gonna hate us. And he's like, nah, our kids' friends are gonna love us. Our kids might hate us, but our kids' friends are gonna think we're really cool as parents. Anyway, kind of random plug there. So then as you keep walking through the whole entire museum, just more and more and more to see, and just more breathtaking, more beautiful, like seriously, just amazing. And then you make your way into the Sistine Chapel. And so they don't allow any pictures or anything like that in the Sistine Chapel because they want you to be quiet, because it's like, it's sacred. It's a church. Just breathtaking. The up above, amazing. And so we spent a little time in there, and then it did make me laugh as we dumped out. It reminded me of Disneyland when you go off the rides, and those specific rides have like all the souvenirs for it. That's exactly how it was. You went out and you were right in a souvenir shop. But we also got little headsets to listen to translate everything as we went through, which was really, really nice because they had lots of it written in English, but then they had it in Italian too. And it was just nice to like kind of see because we didn't get a tour guide for it. So that was like our tour guide, but breathtaking. Like seriously, the Vatican, you could legit spend a whole entire day there. And we spent a lot of time there and it was totally 100% worth it. Like we spent the majority of our day there and it was perfect. Okay, and then after the Vatican, later that night, we went to the Spanish Steps. And those are beautiful. A bunch of steps that you could climb all the way up. And then there was a church at the very top. One funny thing when I was reading about them. So there is a fountain at the bottom that's beautiful. It's supposed to like represent a boat. Really pretty. But one funny thing is a guy in 2007 got really drunk and tried to drive down them. So it's funny, but it's not because it ruined a lot of the steps. And obviously the significant history was that with that. So just people are crazy. Anyway, like I said, it's amazing, it's beautiful, like unreal what is around there. Okay, and then Tuesday and Wednesday, they were just kind of like nice relaxing days because Monday we were exhausted. Like we went and walked and did so much walking, like it was crazy. So Tuesday we went over to a castle. We got so the Metro passes lasted for 24 hours. So we got our Metro pass, went on before it expired, and then we ended up walking back, which wasn't bad because like I said, everything was super convenient, everything was super close. It's just like depending on how far you wanted to walk, but you could walk to everything and get there. And even though like some things were kind of far away, it seriously did not feel like that long of a walk. So we went to that castle and it was kind of cool because it was a museum, but we didn't go inside of it. It was really fun to walk around the grounds and kind of research the history on it. And then they also had like a whole bunch of like government buildings there too, that people like still do their government there, which was really cool to see. And it was definitely a nicer part of town. And we went and we got a sandwich, and the sandwich I got had eggplant, mozzarella, and tomato. Oh my goodness, it was so good. And then we kind of went back, just relaxed. We were researching places, and looking at places, and there was this one. Okay, so female foodie, she's on Instagram. And I had a friend before I even left text, and she's like, go here, everything looks really good. And then Brooke also texted me too, and she's like, you need to go and look at all this. Another friend did. And so I was looking at the menu, I'm like, Ben, can we please go? So we went. So we had to take the Metro. It was kind of like a crazy, I don't know, like we had to go for quite a ways and then walk over a bridge and then get there. And then once we got there, it's kind of like in an alleyway, beautiful little alleyway, but just kind of secluded. Found it, went up. Oh my gosh, our waiter was hilarious. He honestly reminded me of my brother-in-law on my husband's side. But anyway, so this pasta, you probably saw the picture of it, amazing. They put it in the Parmesan bowl, and then it was like a butter cheese pasta, delicious. I ate the entire thing because it was so freaking good. Such a good way to end the night. And of course we got more gelato because you have to get gelato when in Rome, right? But seriously, the food was probably my favorite thing, hands down, about the entire trip. Okay, and then on Wednesday, when we were walking the night before to the place, like there was this big open space and you could see kind of like across things lit up, and we're like, we got to come back in the day because it looks beautiful. So we went back, and the place that we went back to, they actually held chariot races there, which was so crazy. So now it's just like a big open field. They had a part of it that was gated off because it had still some of the old building, and it was called Circus Maximus. I'm probably pronouncing it completely wrong because it's super English. But oh my goodness, like it was magical. It was amazing. And then some of the other walking around too, we were doing like, because Ben was kind of researching the night before, and one of the buildings that we walked past when we were going to dinner was one of the oldest buildings like in all of Rome, which was magical, crazy. They had those ones completely guarded off. You could like call and get tours and pay money. Those were pretty cool to see. Then we walked around and saw like a theater that was in the time of Caesar. It's just crazy. all of it's just crazy. The history's so crazy. And like, it was nice to kind of take it slow Tuesday and Wednesday. We just kind of walked around, went into stores, found different things. It was just magical. Like the whole thing was just magical. And then later that night, again, we went back, just kind of hanging out. I'm like, where are we gonna eat? We gotta eat someplace really good before we leave. So Ben, I can't even remember the name of Piccolo something. But it literally means hole in the wall. Like, and those places, of course, are the best places. So we went, okay, so the way the Italians eat, they eat super late. A lot of the restaurants don't open up till 7 o'clock. And so we left probably about like 6:30, got there around like 7:15-ish after, well, maybe, I don't know, something like that. Got there, yeah, because we walked down to it. Got there, and there's no wait. We got right in, kind of looking over the menu, looking at people's plates around us. It looked really good. And then I got a pizza with a white sauce, and then it had, I can't think of it, ham or prosciutto. Is that how you pronounce it? With mozzarella, a big old blob of mozzarella. And oh my gosh, the mozzarella there is so good. And Ben got, just a margarita pizza. And he got the red sauce. The red sauce there, you guys, and I've told everybody this, is so much different than the red sauce here. The red sauce here, I feel like they throw all these crazy spices and everything into it. Their red sauce over there is just fresh. Just fresh. It's like fresh tomatoes. It's delicious. Absolutely delicious. And then mine was so good. Like, so good. The mozzarella over there, I wish I could package it all home. Anyway, this restaurant apparently is very popular because Ben was researching about it, and like by the time we left, there was a huge wait for it. So we got in good timing. We just got lucky, and we timed everything really well. And then we kind of walked around by the Trevi Fountain one last time, and it's crazy how fast it went, but it was so magical. It was so wonderful. It was so amazing. And then Thursday. So Thursday was an adventure for me. So we got up, went to the airport. Ben had a flight that went to Sicily. I had a flight that went to Munich. Yeah, Munich, because I flew into Frankfurt the first time. Munich, it was beautiful because we flew over the Alps, and I was breathtaking, because how many people can say they've flown over the Alps and like seen them in the day? Absolutely beautiful. Stayed there, and then he got to his destination safely. It was kind of crazy because when we first got to the airport, we had to split. We had to go through different places, and I was freaking out because I'm like, I want my husband to just come home with me. I was exhausted. I was done. I was ready to see my babies. But luckily, like, we met up. He found me and we met up and waited. And then when I hugged him to say goodbye, we both just started crying because he was ready to come home. I was ready for him to come home. It was just hard. And the kids hadn't seen him in forever. So when the kids finally saw him when he did come home this last Sunday, they were ecstatic, and they haven't been able to leave him alone since he's been home. But so my flight was good. So long. That's like, I should have walked around more, but I felt bad. When I flew over, I had a whole row to myself. When I flew there, I had a seat in between me and a guy, and I sat most of the time because I felt bad getting up and down, being like, can I go walk some laps? I should have just done it. Anyway, my legs, like, I was telling people, I was like, I thought my legs were like huge and like buff. No, they were just swollen, really bad swollen. And the next day I felt the aftermath of it. Like, my whole body just hurt from sitting for that long. Anyway, landed, and I only had maybe an hour and a half by the time I landed. Yeah, an hour and a half by the time I landed to get through customs, get through everything. So if you saw my stories, it was a nightmare. So I landed. Customs was easy to get through. Getting off the plane always takes some time because, you know, people got to get off. Well, first off, I didn't find where I needed to drop my bag, and then I had to go back and drop my bag because I had to pick my bag up and then take my bag over so they could check it on a different airline. Anyway, I was at Denver Airport. Not really impressed with that airport. Security line was massive. I was freaking out. My poor husband, because I was calling him. I was so upset. Like, where do I go? What do I do? The line was so long. Finally, I got up to like the TSA guy who checks it, and I'm like, I have a flight that leaves in 40 minutes. Is there any way I can get up front? And Ben was telling me too. Ben's like, you just got to push your way up there. And the TSA guy was just like, we can't tell you what to do, but if you ask people, I've never seen anybody say no. Everybody was so super nice. Super, super nice. One lady was super rude. Whatever. Her deal. got in, got through, and I get through. I'm like, yes. And then there's a train. There's a train you have to take to the gates. So you get off the one for the A. I'm in the B gates. Get off the B gates. And so I'm like booking it out. Of course, there's 2 escalators going up. One of them is down. And people just sit there with their luggage. So I'm going by. I'm like, excuse me, sorry, excuse me, sorry, excuse me, sorry. Everybody's super nice except for one lady who tried to take me out with her luggage. Like, really? I have been on a long flight. I will bubble you. Anyway, so then legit, I probably ran a half a mile. Ran. And the lady who was checking into the flights, because I was like, and she's like, you okay? And I'm like, I just want to miss my flight. She's like, you have like 20 more minutes. You're okay. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Anyway, I'm glad I ran. Sat down. The guy that sat next to me was super nice because I'm like, I'm sorry if I'm gross. I've been on like a 12-hour flight. Okay, not really. 11 hours. 11-hour flight. And I just had to run my butt all the way over here. And he's like, well, where are you coming from? And I told him Italy. He's like, well, that's cool. He was super, super nice. So that was my adventure home. Okay, and then last but not least, I just kind of want to go over a couple things. So the hotel we stayed in, if you guys ever visit, let me know. I can't remember the Palladium, I'm pretty sure is the name of the hotel. Perfect. Like right in the heart of the city. You could walk to it. It was easy. It was super close to the metro, super close to the train, super close to like walking anywhere and everywhere. Seriously, it was amazing. Perfect to see all the touristy spots. Like I thoroughly enjoyed it. The things I didn't love, which is just, I just don't think, like for them, it's not, it's just done. It's not like a respect thing or anything like that. Like you just do it. The cigarette smoke there about killed me because people just walk and it's crazy because there's no vaping at all. Like how people vape here in the States. None of that. Legit cigarettes and just everywhere, like smoking everywhere. They don't care. Like, and it gave me headaches all the time, but like, it's just how they are. And like I said, it's not them being rude. That's how I should say. It's not them being rude. It's just their way of life. The people around the touristy sites drove me crazy because they'd walk around like selfie sticks and like shove them in your face. And like I said, just shoving things in your face. And I'm like, I don't want any of that. No, just like leave me alone. And so we got like super tunnel vision going to our destinations. It reminded me a lot of Vegas. But other than that, and Italians know how to dress. Do they ever know how to dress, man? Like they always, and I think some people were saying like, they smell amazing, like a lot of them that had cologne on, and like they take very good care of themselves. So I was super impressed that way. And a lot of the churches too, they want you to stay covered. They're very all about modesty, and I get it. With going into the churches, they don't want people in tank tops and short shorts. But seriously, it was a once-in-a-lifetime trip, and I am so incredibly grateful that me and Ben were able to experience it together. It was amazing because how many people can, like I said, say that they met their spouse in Rome and then just a week of seriously like bliss. It was so nice and we're so grateful. My sister watched my kids over the weekend. My mother-in-law watched my kids like during the week. Just amazing. Like it was such time needed, such like just magical, just wonderful. And the food was amazing, so I really think everybody should go to Italy. It's wonderful. It's amazing. Like, seriously, make it. Put it on your vision board. Put it on your goals. Put it on whatever. But everybody needs to go to Italy because amazing. Amazing, amazing, amazing. So I hope this was fun to kind of watch and see. I loved it because I got to kind of go back down memory lane, even though it was only like a week ago. But I loved it. And seriously, like, go to Italy. Get your booties to Italy because one of the best vacations of my life.